It's just a no.
Can you hear me on Marion?
I can't, but someone in the room can probably. All right. Good morning.
Darren Sproles, are you expecting him back to practice and playing this week?
I'm expecting for Darren to continue to work through his injury. He's day to day, quite honestly. Again, as a runner, I just want to make sure that he's 100%. So we're going to continue to monitor his progress and see where he's at the end of today and move on from there.
What happened with Corey? Did he re-injure that quad at the end of last week, or was that just a
No, basically, it just precaution, quite honestly, and I don't want to risk a further injury with any of these guys, with these types of injuries, and so just kept him out one more week, and he's another one like Darren that we're going to keep monitoring each day, and we'll put out our injury report, later today, and just keep going from there.
Does that say that you're going to be reviewing, all the different positions to see for potential changes? What conclusions did you come to? Are you making any personnel changes?
Well, obviously, when you sit back and you look and you get time these last couple of days to evaluate kind of where we are. I mean, it's the sky's not falling. The sun came up today. We're 2-2. We're still in a good position. Control our own destiny. A lot of football ahead of us, and there's no panic. So. As coaches, we prepare our players and we prepare them extremely well. We have confidence in all our guys moving forward, and so with that, we just continue to coach and get our guys ready for Sunday.
Jim Schwartz mentioned on Tuesday that he's going to stick with Jalen Mills, and on Monday you mentioned that you could speak for the entire team, obviously, your head coach. But what kind of conversations do you have with Jim in terms of the defense? Because you do give him a lot of autonomy over that unit.
Yeah, I mean, he's the expert on the defensive side, quite honestly, and he and I have conversations throughout the week. We talk about scheme, we'll talk about personnel, how we're using different defensive packages, how we attack a particular offense. So yeah, we're constantly talking about things like that, even during the game. I listen and quite frankly, I don't say a whole lot, unless I have to, but. Yeah, he's in charge there, and he's done a great job. His scheme is sound, and we just continue to coach our players and get them prepared.
Doug, is that quad still bothering Jason Peters from a couple weeks ago, or is he totally past that?
It from time to time it flares up on him, but he's tough. He's working through it. He's managing it, and getting treatment on it every day.
Do you think it's affecting his play, his ability to anchor?
No, I mean you see it a little bit. It may show up on tape, a little bit here and there, but he's dealing with it. He's fighting through it and playing pretty good actually. And just keep him coming. Manage him during the week.
Doug, a couple weeks ago you faced off against Frank. Now you're facing against John DiFilippo. What kind of challenge did that present when you go against a guy that knows you so well?
Well, again, going back to probably the same comments I had with going against Frank. Some of the terminology, some of the calls, maybe hand signals, whatever it might be, that he knows. Listen, he's a smart guy, but he's also preparing his team to get ready to play. And so I think that's where his focus is right now this week. But yeah, having some familiarity, obviously, we're seeing some of the same things from their offense that we do, and so it's good for our defense to see. But again, we're aware of it, and we're not going to go in making it's a home game, so we can cut down on a lot of the signals, a lot of the verbiage, things like that, at the line, and just try to go play.
How is the Vikings defense different than the last time you saw them?
Well, structurally they're the same. Schematically they're the same. It's an aggressive defense. They're down. I really like these backers. The three they have, and really the two that play all the time, and Barr and Kendricks. I mean, they don't ever come off the field. I have a lot of respect for their safeties. They're aggressive downhill guys. I think where the biggest change comes is a little bit up front. If their stud D end misses another game, then obviously that might impact a little bit. But they've got some guys. If you just put on the film, they got some guys that can get after the passer. And we know Rhodes is a top corner. A lot of respect for what his game and physical nature of his game. Probably anticipating him being with Alshon most of the day, but it's a scheme that is very similar to what we saw really the last 2 years. So they're going to know us, we're going to know them, and it just comes down to matchups and winning those and who can out execute the other team.
From what you've seen from Carson in 2 games, how would you assess the way he's playing, especially compared to last year? Are there things he's doing even better than he was last year?
Well, I mean, he improved from his first start out, and he'll continue to get better. I think that, again, he's still working through, I think, just the overall game speed. He's going into his week 3, this week, and so just anticipating the speed of the game. Obviously he didn't play against this group last year, so he, it comes down to his preparation and study this week. But he's done some nice things, done some really nice things, and we continue to, coach him up and show the positive, show the negative, and keep learning and growing and get better.
You guys are really good at handling the Vikings, and how much of a quarterback is he in Minnesota than he was in DC?
A lot of respect for Kurt. I mean, he, for what he's done. I mean, he's played well against us in the past, and he's made some really good plays, some good throws against our defense. When he was in Washington, and he's still doing that, and he's got some explosive weapons to go to, on offense. So defensively, work's cut out for us. I mean, we got to generate some pass rush, obviously, and try to keep him in the pocket. He's a better scrambler than people think, using his legs and extending plays. So. I got a lot of respect for him and his game. He's a tough quarterback, and he's smart. He gets them in and out of trouble, in and out of plays, and that's what you got to have.
You guys were really good last year, Doug, at situational football. This year it's been up and down. You feel confident that as you get your guys back healthy, that'll kind of rectify itself?
I do, and that is an area that I address the team. Winning the situations in the games, and that's where it's really coming down to. And each week, Jim mentioned it yesterday, and it's true. I mean, you're 2 plays away from maybe being 0-4 and 2 plays away from being 4-0. So that's how tight this thing really is. And therefore, with that being said, as coaches, we got to make sure we're doing our part to prepare our players and get them ready for those situations.
Doug, you mentioned some of the guys who are banged up. It looks like at least past few games you've run a little less outside zone. Is that fair to say? And is it because you're trying to get through because some of the guys are banged up?
A lot of times too, we don't see Tennessee every year. We don't see the Colts every year. The Falcons, obviously, we don't see Tampa Bay every year. So schematically, it might change your run game just a little bit. And then, of course, when you don't have Darren or Corey, those were kind of the guys that took the edge just a little bit, and it changes. It changes. You not saying you limit yourself, but at the same time, you put in schemes that your backs are comfortable in running and that they're good at. And Jay's extremely tough and powerful between the tackles, downhill runner, can make guys miss in the hole. Wendell's kind of the same way, can get outside, and Josh is a big, powerful back that way. So some of it's by defense of scheme against us, and some of it is just our design offensively.
When you watched the film of that game, did you notice that the Titans were concentrating some of their coverage towards his side? And do you anticipate that being
No, I didn't notice the coverage, flipping his direction at all. And I think this week we're going to see more of, Rhodes on him. So you're going to see more of a matchup, situation this week. I do think now that, he's back and he's playing, teams are going to be, especially I think when you get in the red zone, I think is where you're going to start seeing some doubles occur, whether it's Ertz or him. And then with that being said, then the rest of our guys have to execute and get open as well. So, nothing noticeable coming out of the game, but I think going forward we got to be aware of that.
How's Tim Jernigan doing, and is he making progress?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's making progress.
Playing this year?
What's that?
You anticipate him playing still this year?
I'll, you know, he's a guy that we'll just continue to monitor, you know, and I don't want to put a cap on him. Don't want to, you know, limit him in any way, and any other expectation than just him getting better and healthy at this time.
Hey Doug, you had Wendell Smallwood in there in 2-minute, obviously, last game. In terms of like blitz pickup, there were a couple times Carson got hit and sacked. Was he? Basically, how's he doing in that area? Was he kind of at fault there? Needs to do better.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to improve. I mean, that's something that he knows and he's aware of, and you know, he's a smart guy. He understands, you know, what happened. His eyes were just in the wrong spot, and you know, it just comes down when teams pressure us, and really any team that pressures us. I mean, we've got to be so disciplined in our communication, whether it's verbal or nonverbal. So I'm not worried about Wendell. You know, he's a great blitz pickup back, tough. Will stick his nose in there, and he'll bounce back.
Hey, Doug, the quarter pole of the season. How has Coach
That
Groh?
quarter pole thing keeps coming up like it's a horse race.
Through 4 games of the season, how has
Thank you.
Coach Groh transitioned into Coach Reich's role and responsibility?
Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you he's not Frank Reich. He's Mike Groh, and he's doing an outstanding job. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, this guy is busting his tail. I mean, he's early in the morning, late at night. We're going over the game plan. We're putting it in together. Have the same communication structure that Frank and I had. Okay, personalities are probably a little bit different, but that's a good thing because now our team is seeing him. You know, our receivers know who he is, and now our offense is getting to know him a little bit. And the more I get him up in front of our offense, they get to see exactly who he is and his style, and it's been very positive. So I've been excited about him and what he's done and what he's brought so far this year. All right, thanks, guys.